All right. Well, I have told you so far in my videos about my personal testimony. I've told you how to make money off of retail profits and commissions. I've told you about recognition ranks. And now I'm going to tell you about cars, trips, and jewelry. Oh my. So you can earn a car reimbursement from the company. And what I love about the company is that you can pick any car you want as long as it has blue somewhere in the factory name. So if you are a convertible person, if you're an SUV person, if you're a minivan person, if you're a pickup truck person, great. It just has to have the name blue in it. And they are called Senna Blue cars. Any blue, it just has to have blue in the factory name. And once you have achieved that, and I'll tell you how in just a second, you receive a reimbursement for that vehicle. So when you're tier 1 qualified, you receive $250 towards that vehicle. And when you're tier 2 qualified, you receive $500 towards that vehicle. Tier 1 eligibility is based on the sales volume for your first line, people that you have personally sponsored. And there are some rules and regulations and things you'll read in back office, but lots and lots of girls achieve these cars early on in their SenaGen's career. Like I think I was a royal when I earned my Senna Blue car, and I've got girls underneath me who are royals and ladies and countesses, that don't have, huge $1 million organizations who are driving their Senna cars. So this is something that's very achievable early on in your SenaGen's career. So tier 1 is a $250 reimbursement, and that is based on your first line's volume and activities. And then the second tier is an additional $250, and that's based on the activity for your second tier. And I definitely want to point you to go into back office, go to view distributor dashboard, and then set a car, and it will tell you how you're doing because it's going to be based on your total volume for a 3-month period. So you're going to need to achieve, I think it's 22,500 PV on your first line for a rolling 3-month period to make you tier 1 qualified. And you have to keep, you have to keep your sales volume up. But for me and, the rest of the girls on my team, it hasn't been an issue because our teams have continued to grow. But if you, for some reason, shrunk, then you would need to be requalifying. And you are going to go, once you've qualified, you go lease a car, it's blue, and then you just simply receive your allotted reimbursement for it. So you don't have to purchase any particular kind of car. It's actually a car lease. There's some requirements about the MSRPs and stuff like that. Just read your back office. But essentially, tier 1 is $250. And if you're tier 1 qualified but not tier 2 yet, you can go ahead and get your car and you can get your $250 until you hit tier 2, and then you'll start getting $500. So you can go ahead and get your car when you're tier 1 qualified, and then your payment will just go, your reimbursement payment will just go up when you hit tier 2. You don't have to wait till you're tier 2 qualified. And I think that's all I want to say about the Senna card, just because it's pretty simple and all the information you need is in back office, but it's really fun and really achievable, and lots of girls get this early in their SenaGen's career. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is trips, and we have 2 major incentive trips a year. One is Senna Star, and it's like the balance beam of, or maybe it's like a teeter-totter. So say personal sales versus group sales. So if you have super astronomical high group sales, then you can have just a little bit of personal sales. And if you have super astronomical high personal sales, you can have less group sales. And then it can also be somewhere in the middle. So it's actually like a tiered thing where it's overall volume, where you're kind of like, if you have a huge team and you're spending a lot of time on that, your personal sales can be lower. If you have a lot of personal sales and that's where you're spending your time, your group sales can be lower, but it balances each other's out and earns you a trip. This year I have earned it, and I am going to Cabo with my husband, hopefully for like a week. It's a trip for 2, and it's like 5-star, first class all the way. She spoils us rotten. I cannot wait for this trip. And you can actually earn that trip and only have half of it funded, up to 100% funded. I am 100% funded. But there are lesser tiers that you can earn this trip and, pitch in like half, and they'll pitch in half. So it's not all or nothing with that trip. Now, the next trip is our LIPS trip, and that's the League of Independent Personal Sponsors. And that one is based pretty much entirely on sponsoring. So you can earn a trip for yourself by your first line sales for that qualification period. And then you can earn a trip for your significant other, your spouse, a guest by the sales on your second line. So that period is going to run from our leaders year. Star, the one I was just telling you about, is for our seminar year, which is April 1st to March 31st. Lips trip runs on our leaders year, and our leaders year is October 1st to September 30th. And you have the people who count towards your trip for that year are people you sponsored after October 1st. So anybody I sponsored on September 30th or before from last year, they don't count towards this trip. So if you want to keep reachieving this trip, you have to keep sponsoring. Even if you are a fancy crown princess with a great big team, you are not going on this trip if you don't continue to sponsor and work your business. And I love that. I think it keeps people engaged and kind of keeps you some skin in the game, then rewards you for it. Lips trip, I am on track. I'm going to hit that. And that is going to be in Costa Rica this year. So first class, 5 days, me and my husband, Costa Rica, and it's totally achievable for you as well. And there are lots of people who are earning lip strip. I've got a girl on my first line who is already lip strip qualified. Even though it's only March, we have all the way until October to get qualified. She is totally qualified, and she's a duchess. So you don't have to be a fancy crown princess or a queen or an empress to be earning these trips. You can definitely be earning these trips earlier in your Sen Agent's career, and I'm very excited about that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about on this, I hit on it on the last one, is jewelry. We get a lot of fun jewelry. So we get stackable rings at every rank. Crown princesses get really fancy, big old blingy rings that are worth up to $2,500, and crowns. Every rank above that gets crowns. We get empress ring, and then there's a necklace. I mean, the fancy jewelry. So they're, in addition to retail profits, in addition to commissions, in addition to group sales bonuses, in addition to cars and trips, they also give us bling, and it's just a lot of fun. So I hope that that really excites you to work towards your business. I knew nothing about any of this, so like I keep getting things and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know, yay, that's exciting. So I think it's fun. I think that I probably would have done a little better at goal setting had I been truly aware of some of these recognition programs a little earlier in the game. So I'm glad you're watching this right now, and you can use some of this for your goal setting and to build excitement. So okay, I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to do more videos here in just a minute.